Can you turn yourself up a little bit more for me?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Welcome to the Journey of Self Growth podcast, episode 23. I'm Kite, the host of this event, which is created for myself and others to share perspective on the concept of it in hopes that one another's journeys will be relatable, establishes awareness, and inspires listeners to adopt and maintain such behavior. The definition of self growth is the process of developing new skills, attitudes, actions, or reactions that can have a beneficial impact upon your life and increases your overall well being. For those tuned in on Instagram Live, you can also find us on YouTube after the hour mark because Instagram only has a 1 hour window, but we'll go past the 1 hour mark on YouTube. You can find us there at, excuse me, yeah, if you go on YouTube, search The Journey of Self Growth, this is where you can find us. So today's featured guest is a friend of mine. Uh, he is an East Coast original, um, but is now transplanted here in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, which is where also I reside. I thank him for taking the opportunity out of his time to journey into the unknown with me, and hopefully we can both grow in this experience. His name is Drew Money, young, healthy trillionaire. Hello, Drew. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great. How you doing today, Kite?
Doing well. Appreciate you asking. And for those who are unfamiliar with you, what can you tell me about yourself?
Um, I'm the rapper on Bart. I'm the guy who sings and dances and what I mean talks about songs of love and positivity on the trains on the bar system. Is It's many performers on a bar system, but it's really only, I mean, one rapper who doing it like I'm doing it. It's another guy who freestyles for $1, but no one really does it like I'm doing it. They were doing it like I'm doing it because I brought them to the trains to do it like I do it. So that's kind of where I stand out at performing on the trains. But I'm much more than that. Um, I'm a son. Um, I was a father at a point. Uh, I'm a businessman. I got several businesses. I'm a philanthropist. Um, I want to be a teacher. Just a lot of different things about myself, and I want to continue growing myself. I want to stay an unfinished product. I want to grow and reach different stages, but I still want to continue to work on myself the whole entire way.
I hope you will attract opportunities that will help you to continue to flourish and grow as an individual. I hope you will have an opportunity to strengthen your businesses and even hopefully grow stronger bonds with your family and friends as well. Speaking of growth, what would your perspective be on the concept of self growth?
My perspective on self growth, um, is putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and making I don't think you can reach a level of self growth until you make mistakes. So put yourself in uncomfortable positions and know that you're going to make a lot of mistakes along the process. But while you make those mistakes, you'll be growing. So honestly, I think, and I just started saying this maybe like a week or two ago. I think mistakes is the greatest thing known to man because it allows us to learn and reevaluate ourselves, self-examine, and it allows us to grow. So when you talk about self-growth, I feel like that's just me living life and then learning, like learning through my mistakes, learning through my wins, learning through the entire process. Self-growth to me is looking deeply into myself and seeing where I can improve.
which I would which I would theorize when it comes to improving is it takes a willingness.
Yeah, because you can't make no one change. And uh, if you want to change, you have to. If you want to change in the world, you have to look inside yourself. And so you have to be willing to do that. You know, a lot of people, you can want them to change, but they're not going to want it. They're not going to change until they want to, until they willingly want to change. Um, like me and my friends was talking about that earlier, because he was talking about his self growth journey, and I told him that's a synchronicity. But we was talking about how like um, uh, us as uh, us as people living right now in this present moment as the adults. I'm just turned 31 in June, so us as the 30-year olds, as the young 20-year olds, we must change now. Because I was telling him that because he was saying we got to focus on the children to be the change, but I said we must change because because we are the example for the children, and they're just going to be picking up off of us. So even if we tell them better ways, that they still might learn from our bad ways. So we must change ourselves. But he was saying you can't change nobody, and that's true. But I say if we focus on the people that's willing to change, then I think we'll still reach some higher. You know, we'll still see progress.
I can relate to that. I I mentioned in a previous episode that it seems that growth inspires growth. So if I'm focusing on my growth and bettering myself, some people may be a witness to how I'm moving. And if they see and relate to what I'm doing, which they may not be doing in the present moment, that can inspire them to want to change and grow themselves.
Definitely. That's definitely just by just leading by example and setting the foot forth, and you changing yourself. Like they said, the only person you can change is yourself. So you taking a step to change, it may inspire other people to change this, and then the other changes that you can potentially make in the world. Like you can be a good example, and you can broadcast your example, or you can broadcast the examples of other people, and and faith that it inspire more people. So like you said change inspires change. I agree with that. Success attracts success, just like failure attracts failure.
Yeah. Regarding growth, how are you currently growing?
How am I currently growing? Just listening to audiobooks over and over and over again. Just listening, getting on Audible and typing in a subject that I want to learn about and find an audiobook. And it's a lot of free audiobooks on there if you have the membership. So when you have the membership, it's a book, they give you 1 credit a month. But then if you go when you search a title and then you say and you click the button that says search books and membership, you'll get a whole bunch of free books that pop up as well that you can listen to for like, I think a limited time. Like I think some of them I downloaded now, they have expiration dates on them, and then but it's still enough time to where I was able to listen to a bunch of them. So audio books, the people around me, having good people around me that I feel are on a higher level. They're doing something that I like, that I want to emulate. So learning from them, um, audiobooks, learning from my friends, actively doing things like push-ups. I push myself to do 1,000 push-ups a week, and I probably only have maybe like 50 more to do to reach for my second week of 1,000 push-ups, and just applying things that I learned in the audio books, like applying it, finding little ways to apply it, writing out a detailed plan on how I can elevate my life, and then once I write out the plan, uh, work on things on that list every day. So even if it's some things I can't do now, find out what I can do now to work on that list. There's always something that you can do. Don't think that it's nothing that you can do. Even if it's just drawing out a logo for your clothing layout. You might not have the money right now, but just taking the steps to draw it out, how you draw out some designs that you want to have done, and maybe organizing how you're going to sell. Maybe make a marketing plan for it. Just never think that it's something that you can't be working on to reach your goal, even in the midst of maybe having all of the proper funds.
I can relate to what you're saying. I enjoy listening to audiobooks too. What can you tell me about the audiobooks that you read thus far, or listened to thus far?
A lot of self help books. A lot of them say the same thing, so I kind of like that because it's the consistency in the message, and it's just reaffirming some things that I already know, and some things to just to believe in it more and more. Mostly, what I'm learning is just you get what you think. So it's like I can't go in. I perform on a train, so I can't go on a train thinking it's going to be like it's going to be bad, or just learning that it's a risk in everything that I do. So even when I get on the trains, of course, I might not get money on the train, and somebody might boo me. Somebody might be mad at me for performing on the train. I might get a negative reaction. That's the risk of me performing on the trains. So just stuff like that, getting comfortable, um, and just believing in believing good things are happening. So just believing in the unknown, believing doing the things that I know I must do every day, like focusing on what's in my control, and just believing that that God is watching and God is with me and that he has a blessing that I don't even know about on the way. So that I just listened to a book on childhood neglect. Basically, it's just talking about like how we was raised, um, and how we different parenting environments, and how that may have emotionally neglected a child, and how basically how we learn to react to things based on how we was raised, and now it's kind of time to change the way that we react to things. So this book was kind of talking about it in like and just like a parenting way, but I kind of uh, put that in how like how we was raised and kind of emotionally neglected from the world, just from being black and just being a darker skin color, that that they put this stereotype on us that we're doing something wrong, or we're bad or something like that. So in a way, we're kind of being emotionally neglected, and or even like if we get followed around, it's like just like um just learn how to react to it. Like I don't have to react in a negative manner. I can control my emotions. I know that this is just a moment, and I know that they don't. It's not really their fault. They was this was someone taught them this, and someone taught them how to react to situations like this. And this is just the world that we're living in, and it may not be right, but and you maybe can address the situation in a calm manner, but you do not need to like you can be assertive in a situation, but you want to be assertive and gentle at the same time. So it's like because they it's just that's the way they was taught, and it's not really their fault. It's the world that we were brought into, and they were brought into, and they was taught these ways, and they was taught these we was taught these ways, and now we kind of just gotta unlearn what we learned and learn a better way to communicate, or a better way to express our feelings. You know.
Yeah, I relate to all that you said. I'm familiar with some early childhood development books that I related to that helped me to just enhance my perspective on not only children but people in general and parenting particularly, because what I learned was there's different parenting styles. There's authoritarian, authoritative, and passive. And based on the styles, seemingly there are different results when it comes to nurturing or uh, raising a child. So, like with the passive parenting style, a passive parent will let the child do and say whatever they want without helping them to be aware of the importance of boundaries. And so, you may see a child acting out in a grocery store, whining and stamping his feet, and the lesser of a human being or a subordinate, sort of like in the military, where you have a sergeant and you have a private, and the private is not supposed to question the authority of the sergeant, even if the sergeant's guidance is could be detrimental to the private or the army or the platoon. You're supposed to just do as I say and without question why or what we're doing. And then you have the authoritarian parenting style where the parent sees the child as a developing uh, individual who's going to eventually be an adult, and they see them as their equal and gives them nurturing and comprehensive guidance so that they can enhance their perspective and learn how to be autonomous and do things for themselves without having to be dependent on validation from someone else, such as an authoritarian type of parenting. So I can relate to what you're saying, and I'm curious to know what attracted you to this audio book that was talking about parenting.
Um, I mean, just the title alone, it said running on empty, and I'm not gonna lie, like I would say the last few days, I feel like I just been like tired when I should be tired. So I feel like I was kind of running on empty. I just went through, but I feel like I pushed myself hard through the week, um, and then I just was running flat on my will, you know. And then from other books, I'm learning that that happens. You know, sometimes your willpower can run flat, but you got to have something to fall back on when that happens. So it's like I feel like I was running on empty. So you know, I was just searching for something to listen to. I just finished another book, so I was searching for something to listen to, and that title attracted me, and I didn't know exactly what it was all going to detail. I did know it was the author was a therapist, so I was like, okay, I do want to know more psychology part into and that in the aspect, and I just listened away, and you know, I heard some things that I reflected on in my life. I heard some things that was knowledgeable. I got some things that I want to go back and re-listen to, so I can really grasp the information of the things they're telling me. They was talking about how to express your feelings, and I need to go back and re-listen to how they was saying them those parts, because I was hearing it when they was saying it, but um, I didn't have my complete focus at the time when I was listening to it. And so I heard a little bit of it, but I need to go back and maybe listen to it 10 times so I learn how to express my feelings in a proper manner.
Why is it
It's a lot.
why is it challenging for you to express your feelings?
I wouldn't say it's challenging, but I want to just do it in a correct way. I want to do it in a way to where everybody walks out unscathed, you know, because a lot, maybe I was taught to express my feelings in the wrong way, or maybe I feel like I have been expressing my feelings in the wrong way. It's just really communication skills that I feel like um, I need to work on. Maybe the world needs to work on, because if it's something that you think the world need to work on, somebody need to work on, you probably need to work on it too. So I need to work on my communication skills, so I'm saying the right things. Um, and I'm not rubbing people the wrong way when I'm trying to say how I feel.
What would be an example of you expressing yourself and someone reacting in a way that is not relatable to you?
Um, I wouldn't say it's more like that. It's just uh, like even all right. So in the situation that just happened on Bart, this weekend, the trains was messing up, and they was sending all the trains to So all right, so this weekend I get on the train, get on the first train that pulls up to 12th. I'm about to get on to perform. Something falls out of my bag, so I stop. I don't know where it went, and so I get off the train. So maybe it went on the track. So I was like, let me get off because I don't know exactly what it was. Couldn't find it, but I got off the train. Train left. The next train comes that I'm about to get on to perform on, and we're like waiting for a while. and then they tell us all to get off because they said the train in front of us is stuck, right? So we all get off the train. They said another one pulls up. We get on that one. We're waiting for a long time, and now I'm thinking like, am I wasting my am I being scared to just perform because I got all these people on the platform? Maybe I just need to perform right here. So the train is stopped and we not going nowhere. So I just start performing on the while the doors is open on the train, right? So I'm performing. I do one song, it go good, it go cool. All right, so now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give another song because someone that I know has been pushing me to, do more. So boom, I do another song. In the middle of my other song, I hear the intercom starting to go off. Right, intercom's going off. Um, I just keep it pushing if I'm in the middle of a song. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. I know whatever they're saying isn't too much important, right? Cool, right? That's him. That's my friend. Every time the intercom go off while I'm performing on the train, while I'm talking, so a lady starts to come up to me. I guess she's trying to get me to stop because of the intercom, right? I'm trying to wave her off, and it's a dude in front of me. It looked like he was enjoying the performance, and it looked like he came closer at first to sit down and relax and enjoy the performance, but now he's yelling at me to stop performing, right? And just me being listening to mindful books, I know that I need to control myself in the situation. I don't need to react in a crazy manner because this guy's yelling at me. But I kind of with some umph in my voice, I say, hey, stop yelling at me, because and then I kind of like peep the situation like, oh, they're talking about what's going on the trains. That is kind of important information, but I mean, I was just really trying to and that when I'm doing these songs, I'm really trying to soothe these people now because I know y'all been waiting long, trying to get y'all some entertainment to try to like pass the time and hopefully make some money in the process, right? So I'm doing something positive. That's what I'm doing. And the guy's yelling at me. He's yelling at me because he think he's going to miss out on this information that's going to help him get to where he got to go. Um, I still don't feel like I need to be yelled at, but in a way, I still wanted to address the situation with the dude. So differently, I would have went up to him and just like try. I feel like maybe other people would have looked at me crazy for even going back and to confront the situation. But I went back and even how I handled that situation, I probably could do a little bit more effective after listening to this book. Like I talked to the guy and I told him like I told and I talked we talked to I told him a situation that I'm trying to perform to like help y'all feel good in the situation. I know it's a tough time. They got us waiting and all this stuff. I'm trying to perform and soothe y'all and stuff like that. I'm doing something positive. I didn't need you yelling. He tried to say he didn't yell at me, but he did. He apologized, and I just tried to tell him, that yelling is not the best. It's not the best. It's not the best thing to do because it's a cause and effect. You yell at me, he yell at me, I might start yelling at him. It's a cause and effect world. So I'm telling him that, and I was like, just work on that, and I walked away. But
I think you handled the situation efficiently and to the best of your abilities. I think, and I'm glad that he apologized to you for yelling at you. Um, I can understand that he was trying to um, overhear what the people on the intercom was trying to say, and maybe you were unaware of it or not, but I feel like the overall outcome, based on how you reacted, actually helped to extinguish a fire that could have potentially went bad if you were to like match his energy. So yeah, I think you handled that situation accordingly.
or just letting the situation harbor inside of me. I feel like I need to have a conversation with him, just to like what I mean, just to but to do that in a calm way. So it's just like learning how to do that to perfect that aspect is what's in that book. learning how to like, all right, cool, this situation happened and this is how I felt about it, and to keep progressing, because mistakes is like I said, mistakes is the greatest thing known to man. We're gonna make mistakes, because how can we grow and improve from it? And even like it's like, and then even from that book, it's like it's not his fault. That's what he learned, how he learned to react to situations. I don't know where he learned it from, but that's how he learned to react. So it's not his fault that he reacted that way. It's not my fault. I reacted that way. That I feel like I kind of yelled at him back. So I gotta forgive myself for that. I ain't moved too crazy in the whole situation. It's just the situation that we in, and now how could we grow from the situation? And that's why I need to get back to that book and listen to those parts again.
Speaking of learning and growing, how would you? What can you tell me about your childhood?
My childhood. Um, what you want to know about my childhood? It's a lot. It's a lot I can tell you.
Oh man, it's open for the question is open for interpretation.
Interpretation, childhood. My childhood made me who I am, I would say. My childhood made me into an entrepreneur, into a go-getter. It made me into someone with a positive spirit. The people that I was around, the positive influences in my life that told me to believe and to believe in God. Well, all these years later, it really paid off, because that faith is inside me, breathing strong. And then the people who was put in my life to break the fear down, and to have that courageousness inside of me, that was done at an early age. Those were like the building pieces that I didn't know I was going to use in my maybe I knew I was going to use it, but I didn't know I was going to be using it in these type of ways. Was like that was all given to me as a child. So it's like, I feel like I was born in I said this that last night to someone. I was born to do great things, and I was built to do great things as well. So I'm just got to keep going. Consistency.
And would you say like your childhood was a healthy, beneficial one, or did you have some adversity and challenges?
I feel like questions like that I would struggle with, because I don't know what's a healthy childhood for real, for real. You know what I mean? I don't know what I can't call it. I can't call my childhood healthy. I can't call it unhealthy. You know, I would say just listening to that book and maybe another book. It did maybe had to go to back and look at situations in my childhood that was maybe scarring, and maybe forgive those situations and stuff like that. Because another book I was listening to, it was telling me like a lot of these situations that happened in our past, you might be still holding on to. It's like it's some reason that we are like this, because from this reason on that reason. So it's like I had to like really rethink. It's like, okay, what happened in my childhood, or why is this, or do I have abandonment issues? Do I ever felt abandoned as a child, and stuff like that, and I don't know, just a lot of different things I had to sit back and think, like try to put two and two together, and like what's like a core memory, and it was like a few memories that like stuck out, but I just had to like, all right, process it and forgive. They didn't know no better. I didn't know no better. It just was what it was, and that's what happened in life. And now I must like forgive and heal from it, and keep progressing, and no, that's not the way to react to things, and I don't have to hold these these I don't know, it's like we hold on to bad moments instead of the good moments. Like bad moments is so much easier to hold on to sometimes. So it's like focus on the positives, and like it's real influential to your life. So it's like I would say my childhood was great in that manner. Yeah, it was some ups and downs, in my childhood, and there was some toss arounds. Um, but it was a childhood of growth. Everybody that I met along my journey, along my path, gave me some type of information, pushed me into the next path, into the next path, into the next path, into the next path, until we get to this path right here, and it's just still just keep on walking down, keep on going. Keep your head held high. Like all the different messages from the people that I've seen in my entire life is like still with me, and like my I feel like my childhood enriched me um, more than anything because it gave me that that power just to go get it and just to believe in myself. That's the main thing. That's the thing that like keeps me pushing. That is the power to believe in myself. If I didn't have that, I don't know where I would be. So it's like it do be some rough times even now. So it is like that faith that's inside of me that was built as a kid is still there.
Well, I'm glad that you had some positive, supportive individuals in your life, especially in your childhood, which is where like it's a pivotal phase for an individual because this is where you can um, establish a strong sense of self discipline, self confidence, like you mentioned. And so, yeah, I'm glad that you had some inspirational relationships in that regard. I do remember that you mentioned that you lived in Maryland and also Washington D.C. What state did you spend the majority of your time in, if you don't mind saying?
So DC is a city. It's not a state, but it's it's a standalone city. So it's not even in a state. So that's the nation's capital. So like then the next state over is got so DC was made from parts of Maryland and parts of Maryland and parts of Virginia. So Maryland is right outside of DC. So my mother is from Maryland and my father is from DC. So I was originally born in DC, but since my mother's family is a lot in DC, like I mean a lot in Maryland, I always spent time going to Maryland. And my mother lived in Maryland a lot, and just even right now she lives in Maryland. But I just always spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house in Plummer Park, Maryland, which I would consider my neighborhood or my hood, quote unquote. Plummer Park. But it's like that's always my grandma's house. Um, and even like my mother, she will even lived in a house. It's like two houses next door. Like it's a house on this side of on my grandma's house, on the house on that side of my grandma's house, and I even lived in all of those houses. So those three houses I didn't lived in, or and even other houses in that neighborhood. But it was my childhood was really kind of like a real back and forth type of situation, from going to DC to Maryland, Maryland to DC, Maryland, DC, Maryland, DC, to eventually landing in Maryland for my teens, and then eventually landed in Largo, Maryland, and then flying out to California as soon as I got my GED.
What was the name of the the city in Maryland that your grandmother lived in?
Well, it's not a city. It's more of a like I would say it's more of the name of a neighborhood more than anything.
Okay.
So it's Palmer Park, Maryland, and it's really like if you ever watch the Commanders, or people might say the Redskins. So the Redskins, the stadium is like Palmer Park is really like one of the neighborhoods right outside of the stadium. So we kind of grew up like at the at the stadium, making money up there and just going to games and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. I was put around the people who taught me that bravery as a kid to like just go get the money and just keep on um, keep on growing yourself.
And how would you describe this Palmer Park neighborhood?
I would just describe it as the hood. It wasn't always that way. Come to find out, somebody told me it used to be all white neighborhood. And then it probably changed around the time my grandparents moved in. But it's a place where you see, you know, people you grow up with, like somebody die every year, or somebody hear about somebody going to jail for a long time. Um, is do got a lot of positivity because we came there, we came from there, so you know, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of positives. A lot of Sugar Ray Leonard came from Palmer Park, Maryland, so it's the positivity is there, but it's overshadowed by a lot of darkness and pain. That's how I would describe my neighborhood. But and just keep praying, and hopefully not hopefully, I will continue to grow myself so I can make a positive difference. I have a dream to buy back my grandmother's house and shoot, maybe turn it into like a community center, a wellness house in the community. Just do something positive um, for my neighborhood because it's deserving, it's needed, and my neighborhood had a lot of positive role models in it too. We had what was their names? The Vaughns, Mrs. Vaughn. She had a daycare, and everybody in their mama went to Mrs. Vaughn's daycare. So they had it, and they had a nice Lincoln in the front yard, and they represented a well black family, that built it up. And then you right next door you had the Vaughns, so it was definitely representations of that in the neighborhood. And just my neighborhood is like, you might have know everybody down the block. You might know everybody who lived on that street. So it's like, and they might have know your mother, and then somebody might be walking down the street with their mother, and they might stop and talk to your mother for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? That's just the type of neighborhood that I grew up in. That's the type of neighborhood Palm Park. What, I don't know what it is now. I've been out here for like 11 years, but that's kind of where I grew up in. So I would say it was the structure of a good black neighborhood was there, but hey man, it got got caught up in the mixture of like the you know poverty and people trying to find a way, and like I said, people not knowing how to deal with situations, and people not having the proper information, and and people trying to figure a way out from nothing, and figure that these are the only options that they had to take to make it. So that's when you got Palmer Park. It used to be all white neighborhood before they moved out, and I think in the white flight, you know.
What did you enjoy doing when you were living in D.C., Maryland? When you weren't working, what you and your friends used to enjoy doing?
I mean, I would take it back to Palm Park. What I enjoyed doing in Palm Park, playing football in the street, hanging out with my friends, just being getting into missions as a kid, almost. I guess I would say I don't know if I would say I had a passive parent, but it's like moms had to work, and pops didn't live with me. So if mom's is working, we out running the streets doing God knows what, So all that stuff was fun, So it's like and I don't know if that just was the natural way. Like they said kids used to be outside. We was outside. Maybe we was the ones the last ones left, but we for sure had a time. It was like that's why probably people say that's why we probably ain't going to the house now because we had a time when we was younger. We did it all. We had to be in the house when the street lights on, and we trying to have we having so much fun. We trying to duck our moms because she coming out. She gonna drive that Saturn around the neighborhood looking for us because them street lights is only supposed to be in the house, but we in too much fun right now. I ain't trying to come home.
I can relate to what you're saying. I grew up pretty much like in the hood for a good amount of my childhood. When I was like around 5 to 8 years old, my I was raised by my mom, but she had me at a young age, and from my perspective, she was not prepared to be a mother due to just like uh, her skill set and learning how to develop her maturity to be a mother. So from there, she ended Kennedy Manor, but it's now called Monterey Pines.
Ooh, you know about that manor name, right?
I know
You
about the letter.
huh?
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
familiar. I'm familiar with it.
yeah, it's crazy.
But I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad. It wasn't as bad as it may be now. But like, there's a times when I would find some of my some of the other tenants' children who would go play football in the front of the housing projects, and we had a good time. And some of the people I still see to this day. Fortunately, some of them, made some decisions that didn't lead them into a situation of detriment, such as going to jail. Like one of the guys that I used to play football with, or his brothers, he ended up being a Pop Warner coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there were some that, due to their self discipline, decided not to go the route of detriment, unfortunately. So, yeah, I can relate to what you're saying in terms of like playing outside until the street lights came on and like living in the hood. And I remember one time when I was asleep in my room in our apartment in Kennedy Manor, and my dad heard someone trying to come in through the sliding patio door, and I think he told me that he pulled his gun out to prevent them from like entering our unit. At the time, I was so young, I didn't really know what was going on. I heard what was going on, but I didn't hear what was going on. Fortunately, no one got injured, and the person that like was trying to break and enter, like they fled the scene. And I'm glad that we were able to transition from living there to actually living in a house in a more safer neighborhood, which is an ideal situation for everybody. But my dad had to put forth an effort to elevate his career, um, and as a result of him going from one job to the new job, he was able to make more money, which allowed him to uh, get us out of that situation.
Yeah, my mama got us out the hood too. She say to this day she like I did it for you. I ain't want to see you lose your life. So she tells me that to this day. She'd say it. But it was like a lot of people, and then I guess seeing one of her childhood friends lose her son probably motivated her more. So it's like
What industry did your mom, or did she work in? What industry did your mom work
my
in?
mother is an accountant.
Accountant.
Yeah, my mother is an accountant. She works for the post office right now in Virginia. So she's an accountant for the post office.
Oh wow, that's a government job, so she probably getting paid pretty good. Hopefully.
Hopefully, God willing, God willing.
Are you close to her?
Try to talk to her every day. I ain't talked to her in a few days, but I have tried to. You try to call me every day now. She try to hold me to it now. But yeah, me and my mama close. That's why I feel like my mama in this jacket. No, you know what I mean. I feel it's a big comfy jacket. I feel I be sitting back like my mama. That's my real OG right there. For real, a real OG. Yeah, salute your real OGs. They really want to give you the game. They been giving you the game since a little one too, trying to school you.
You have siblings?
Yeah, I got a lot of siblings. A lot of siblings. I got it's a lot when you got like how many you jokers? But I got so that's three, four, five. So I got five. I got six for real, but like five that I know.
Wow. Okay. And are you where are you in terms of the age totem pole?
I'm middle child, honestly. I'm middle child. I'm in a group with the oldest though. I'm middle child. I'm last of the oldest, and then we got the little whippersnappers for real. But so my sister was born '91, and I gotta go get these bags and moving real quick. My sister was born '91. She's the oldest, and then my other sister, first sister Asia, Second sister, Corinthian, she was born 92, and then I was born 93. And then we got my brother, he was born 96. Then you got my other brother, 2001. And then you got my sister, she was born, I think she was born 2010. And then I got another brother, I don't really know his birthday. It's probably gonna get a little bit loud. I just gotta grab my bag from out this store real quick.
Okay. Looks like you're in San Francisco right now.
Now I'm in Oakland.
Oh, you in Oakland?
Yep. I'm in Oakland, my little chill spot. I got a little restaurant will show me so much love that I can just hold my bag and my speaker in here and walk off. And they throw me my discounts and hopefully one day we can do some marketing stuff together because they be showing me love.
You want to plug the restaurant?
Oakland street foods, if you ever want some dope food, some chill vibes, come pull up to Oakland street foods, right off Broadway, downtown Oakland. You might see a young, helpful trillionaire. You know what I mean? Might could talk some game, might could talk some business, might could talk about life, might could talk about self growth.
So I've been promoting our podcast, and there's been several people curious to know about your alias. What can you tell the listeners and myself about your alias of Young Healthy Trillionaire?
The young, helpful trillionaire, I would say, is an evolution. So it's really really like maybe the third evolution of my rap name. Cause my original rap name is Drew Money. That's the when I first started rapping, that's the name I went by. So it's still a part of my name. That's why I still use it. Um, but I was saying like in 2017, I just wanted to like evolve a little bit. So I came up with the name Young Humble Billionaire. So I was Young Humble Billionaire for a while. And then I kind of ran into a lot of people that kept on telling me I'm not humble. And then this one lady I met, she was like, she told me to look up the word humble. And then it's like, it's meaning, it's like, not, it's kind of like saying like you don't have great value and you're not kind of valuing yourself. So it's like, I kind of get why some people trying to say I was not being humble, but it's like, why was y'all trying to get me to be humble in those situations? Which was crazy to me. But it's kind of like they wanted me to be like take a down step when I shouldn't, and maybe some situations you should, but in some situations you shouldn't. If you know something about something, say the knowledge. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm missing some piece of wisdom in that situation, or maybe I'm not. But I ran into a lot of people coming to me. I'm not humble. And then with the billionaire to trillionaire, I just feel like when I changed it to young helpful trillionaire, um, uh, I just wanted to like so first I changed it from humble to helpful. Helpful, I just feel like that's more of what I was trying to say with humble. I was trying to say that I want to be a man of the people, so that I am a man of the people, so I want to help people. So from humble to helpful, and then trillionaires. And just because when I came up with the name billionaire, I feel like when I was changing the name, I had grew so much from there that I wasn't even the same person as when I made the young humble billionaire name. So I kind of like evolved in a way. I kind of grew. So it's like time for to evolve the name. So that's why I went to trillionaire. So the name is Young Helpful Trillionaire now.
Yeah, it's an interesting name. And
People
regarding,
like the my bad. I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that.
it's okay. I was just gonna say, you made a statement regarding someone saying that you're not humble, or they it seems like you're not humble. Well, from my perspective, when it comes to humbleness, I think it seems like one cannot have expectations if you're also humble, because like I feel like when I think of humbleness, I think of someone who is appreciative of what is appreciate what your capabilities and potential is, and have confidence that you can execute efficiently in the present moment without having to worry about what happened in the past and what should happen like in the future, then I think someone is humble. Like I think I consider myself to be humble because I'm thankful for what I have right now, and don't I don't have expectations. I just take life as it comes. You relate to that?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say like right now I'm just taking life how it comes. It's like I have a plan in place, and it's more about just executing, and it's like it's not like nothing to go and do quickly. It's not going to happen overnight. It may take some time. It may take a few months to fully execute, but when I do it, it's going to be executed. So, in the way you're using it, I would say I'm being humble to where I know my capabilities. I know what I can do. I just know that to do it for myself, that I have to take certain measures right now. But after I take these measures, I'll be able to do it. So,
What are you hoping to experience in terms of your plan?
um, financial security, um, having my own studio, being able to take the different lessons that I want to take, being able to put myself in positions to learn, being able to do more things that I want to do. Like I want to learn chess and I want to just go play chess with people. So, being in a position to go do that is, I'm more than capable of building myself up financially to where I own my own time, meaning that I'm not saying that I'm doing less work, but I work when I want to work, and I only can only and I only like and I don't have to overwork myself. I can put myself in position to where the time that I do work, I earn what I need to earn, and the time when I want to do something else, I'm able to do other things. So I'm able to grow myself because making money is, I feel like it's just one aspect of growing yourself. Eventually I want to just be well seasoned in a lot of different things. I want to be a well versed person. So it's different lessons and different uncomfortable positions that I have to put myself in to learn these different things, and they all need the proper time and care for them to happen. So everything that I'm doing now is to really set myself up for like next year, for like 6 7 months down the line, where I can do a lot more different things. So right now I may not be able to do all the things that I want to. I know over a course of time that I'll be able to.
I hope you achieve your goals and uh, attain financial stability and not over put yourself in a situation where you're overworked. I think that's like the ideal circumstance for most people. And I think for me, from my perspective, money is the byproduct of growth. Like if you are focusing on doing what you're passionate about, then the money should be like what you attract as a result. So like going to work and enjoying what you do, and people appreciating you putting in the work while you're at your job. And so to support you continuing to grow as a professional, they are willing to uh, give you contributions because they are inspired by how you're moving. So uh, if I can't hear the host talking, I guess it's loud. Okay, Ahmad, can you let me see if I can turn it up. Can y'all hear me now? Mic check, mic check. If you can hear me better, post a comment in the comment section. And I can turn it up. I just wasn't trying to be too loud, but yeah, I think money is a byproduct of growth. if you enjoy what you do and people appreciate you doing working, then in theory they should provide you financial support because they your growth inspires them to want to do better. You know.
Definitely, the world wants to see you at your best. The world wants to see you perform. That's like one of the intros for my songs that I do on Bart. But yeah, the world wants to see you at your best. So and they'll support you because you're putting yourself in the best positions. But you know, like I was saying earlier, success attracts success. That's like case in point, Mr. Fab. You know, Mr. Fab. Um, you see him like doing a lot of successful things, and he's going to keep on doing them because he's already someone that's successful. And a lot of once you are successful, a lot of people want that for themselves. So now they might need to use your services more to get the success that they want. So that's kind of how I articulate it. Like once you make yourself a success, you're going to be way more successful. So just keep on putting yourself in a position to be successful. Keep on, growing yourself. Um, doing things differently. You might have one way of doing things now, but find a way to improve upon it, and just keep on improving, keep on improving, keep on improving, keep on improving, and then take some feedback from people. You don't have to be relying on other people's like judgment of your work. You want to have a way that you self-assess yourself, but taking some feedback and then examine it, see if you can and improve upon those things that they're saying. Um, and keep on going, keep on working and working and working. Eventually, like you said, you'll reach a point where people recognize that the things that you're doing. But I also think you have to take the responsibility to go get those opportunities for yourself, or create those opportunities for yourself, or to take the risk to do those opportunities for yourself that you want, and try to get people to go from there, or just even just like it's I feel like it's like in selling, like I guess because a lot of things that artists want, or a lot of things, a thing that people try to hit me with is like, but do you perform other places outside of Bart? um, it's like, yeah, I can go to open mics and stuff like that. But I honestly feel like I think I was telling you when I first met you, I honestly feel like open mics are investment in my time and my money, because you most likely you might have to pay for the open mic. And then every time, all the time that I'm not on Bart, I'm not making money, and I could be making money. So I feel like it's an investment. And then it's like, if some people are overlooking me for shows right now, I know I built up a pretty cool fan base. One I just put on my own show, and maybe team up with other artists, and they bring their fans, and I bring my fans. And even if I only got my 10 fans, and they got their 10 fans, and another person got his 10 fans, we got a 30 show, 30-person show. You know,
What?
so just keep growing, building.
So far you've lived in the state of California for 11 years. Um,
Since 2013 in September or August 2013.
yeah. How settled are you now that you have been here for such an amount of time?
What do you mean by settled?
Meaning like how content are you with remaining in living in the Bay Area versus wanting to try to be in a new experience elsewhere?
I think I do want new experiences, but I would say the Bay is home. But I don't think whatever. I don't think whatever stage that I go to next, I think I always have to come back to Bart and perform. So in a way, the Bay will always be my home. But I do have to go and venture out and take in new experiences, because that's what that's what the soul needs. The soul needs all these new experiences, and to meet all these new different people. And as an artist, I have to go new places to build fan bases. Like I would say that I've been great at building a fan base out here, but what happens when I apply these same methods other places? Like I was just telling somebody that I'm gonna go to Paris, because someone was telling me performing on the trains in Paris is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go to Paris for maybe like a month or 2 weeks and just perform on the trains out there. So I gotta go to new places and do new things. But I would say the Bay is always gonna have this special place in my heart because honestly, this is the place where I discovered that music is my true love.
And I think you had mentioned too the reason why you initially moved to the Bay is because you decided to attend school here. What can you tell me about your experience at the school that you came to attend in the Bay?
So I originally came out here for the Academy of Art University. My sister went to the school 4 years prior. She didn't finish, and she came home and had my nephew, who's I think like 12 or something years old now. But uh, it was an eye opening experience. I met a lot of artists. I originally came for to do movie directing as a kid. My father um, is a gaffer. A gaffer is someone who's in charge of the lights on film sets. So he tells where the lights need to be. Put this light over here. Put this light over there. Put that light over there. He runs the grip guys. The grip guys are the guys who setting up the lights and putting the lights away and stuff like that on film sets. So my father's the gaffer, so I grew up on film sets, and I always was intrigued to how the director we get there like 5 a.m. The director showing up at 11. Like, okay, y'all ready? All right, cool, action. So I wanted to be a director. So I went to college. I went to for film directing, but I was really around a whole bunch of artists who maybe they didn't go to school for music, but their passion for making music was there. And I was in a lot of freestyle sessions, and I had access to a free studio that allowed me to record my first track. And someone told me once I record my first track, I wouldn't be able to stop, and that was the truth. So now, like, I still want to do movie directing and stuff like that. Like I even, and even going to film school, and I mean, it wasn't directly film school, but it was film school. I discovered a love for my love for story for screenplay writing. So I got that in the bag too. But it's like my love for music is music is first. I remember the thought before I even moved out here, just freestyling with one of my friends back home. And I talked to that friend today, but we were just freestyling in my room back home. And I had the thought like, nah, I can never do music because it's like a 1 in a million chance to make it. Um, so I told myself that I couldn't do it. And then I got surrounded around a bunch of people who told me that I could do it. And that was all it took for me to start.
Mm. I'm curious to know. So you said when you were a child, you used to go to work with your dad, and those jobs would be films. Like what are some films that you have experienced being made?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the names. There was some low budget films. I couldn't tell you the names of them. But I got some IMBD credit, IMBD, whatever you call it. I got some credits on there, but we want to
Yeah.
put in my government, Andrew Bernard. You see my 2 credits on my films. But my pops, he do more than just do film lighting. Like right now, like that was one aspect of what he does in lights. Like he's more of like a stage lighting guy right now, and he did that back in the day too. So I got experience both ways in the lighting, whether it was setting up stage for lights or going into films and setting up lights. So he definitely well versed me in that. And even right now, I just always want to promote my pops because he's always doing big things. He was on tour with Lauryn Hill for 6 years. Right now, he be touring with Busta all across the world. He on he's on tour with Wale. He kind of mad at me right now, but I know he's gonna be in town next week with Wale. Um, he just, he really does his thing. He's one of the best lighting guys in the business, and it's like, I perform for a living, but my pops does too. Like I know he's just controlling the lights, but when you see him controlling the lights, he's really performing. So it's like, I know Wale is performing on that stage, but so is my pops. So when he does come in town, I get to see one of these shows. Is like I really get to see my pops perform. So that's a pretty cool thing about my father.
And I
My
really
father and me, he shares light and I do it with my words. You feel me? Like I share positivity, he shares lights physically, and we both be performing almost every night. Oh, when we see, like, I already had that thought. So when we had these thoughts, it's like, they are visions into the future. Don't believe that they're not. So that is a vision into the future, and you seen it for myself. So it's like I already seen that happening, but you see it too. So that's dope.
What I want to ask you, like, so it does seem like you wear several caps, hip hop performer, potential screenwriter, and aspiring director. Um, if you were to direct a movie, what genre would you prefer? And if you have a particular like story already like created or on your mind, how would you describe this movie?
Well, I would say all the stories is kind of like something of my life, or at least all the ones I'm working on right now, all the ones that I thought about right now, or all the ones that I thought about in the last few years or wrote about in the last few years. They all kind of like my life, in a certain way. Some aspect of my life is something that I pulled to my life and I told it in a different story form, but I was really telling you about my life. So that's one thing, and I would say, something I want to have action, comedy, and drama. That's my films. I gotta have a mixture of all of that in there. Nice little gumbo pot. Most likely going to be like it's more like a action drama. So it's like we want to have the action, we want to have the drama aspect of it, and because life is real out here. So I'm just like I said, it's my life. So it's like, we're going to show you that realness of how life could get, and we're gonna have some comic relief in there, and then we're gonna have some thrills in there and some action. So that's my forte.
As you describe this movie, and I reflect on your childhood growing up in Maryland and D.C., I don't recall ever seeing like a movie that's based around African American culture in that particular location of the United States. So I think I would enjoy seeing something similar to that. Like I've seen like New Jersey Drive, which is from like based in New Jersey. Sunset Park, I think, is New Jersey. Many African American based movie genres based in New York, uh, L.A., the Bay, but I don't think I've seen anything that's based around Maryland. So that would be
I mean,
interesting.
the thing that I could think of that's off the top of my head that's like was in Maryland, and like that part of Maryland is not the part of Maryland. It's funny every time if I tell somebody Maryland, they'll say that part of Maryland, but it's not the part I'm from. So The Wire was based in Baltimore. That's like 20 minutes if you drive really fast, 40 minutes if you're taking your time to get to Baltimore from where I'm from. But I wouldn't say the stuff that's on my mind is more have anything to do more with my childhood or more like on the East Coast. I was even telling my friends, two friends back home, I'm a West Coaster. I'm a West Coast. I've been out 11 years. Like I barely remember back home. Like what street is that? I'll be having to look on the Apple Maps and like to try to like, so that's what that street is called again. Like I don't know what's going on over there. That's why I couldn't tell you. I pay attention to some people's Instagram to know some stuff, and I talk to some people around my hood. I couldn't tell you around what's really happening in my hood day to day because I've been removed, and it's I did the right thing. I put myself in a new environment, and people could say this area is kind of hood or whatever, but I would say this is me living out here is my version of making it out of the hood. Like like I really like I changed I changed my whole environment, put myself in a whole new place.
Yeah, you definitely did. It seems like you're staying afloat, uh, based off of your leap of faith and going somewhere new. And you probably left on your own, unless someone accompanied with you. Did you leave the East Coast by yourself, or were you joined by
I mean, my pops flew with me my first time flying out here by myself to go to college. Pops flew with me. You know, he stayed like a couple days, and then he went on his way. And that's the only person that I probably seen as my of my family that came out here because he's always on tour or something. So I might get to see him like twice 1 year. Some year I might not get to see him. 1 year, one time. Yeah, I might just see him one time in a year. So, but but yeah, it's pretty much just been myself, me and God, for real, just me and God. That's I got this song I just wrote just talking about talking to God. So, a lot of situations do I had to just talk to God. So, you know, I can't I can't situation gets sticky, I can't go to mama house. Can't go to papa. I can't go to cousin house. Can't go to auntie house. I gotta talk to God to figure it out.
Yeah. Speaking of your songs, what would be one song that you would that's your favorite song that you wrote that you would recommend uh, listeners that are new to your music to experience, and what can you tell me about the inspiration for writing that song?
I would say they all my favorite songs. So you feel me? They all of them are my favorite. But it's a song that I would say I would steer people to. It's a song that I may have wrote. I wrote the first verse at the end of 2015 when my godfather died. His name was Sandy Vaughns. He was a part of the Vaughns. He's my godfather. Um, um, and then I wrote the second verse when my grandfather died in 2016, like 7 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I sent it to an artist, and he gave me his feedback on it, and he told me he told me I needed to clarify things, and so I changed the hook in the middle, and then I gave it an ending, and that was this song, and it's called Love Till Infinity. But uh, to a point, I would say it was one of the best songs that I wrote. Just about what I was talking about in the song. I was talking about my mistakes and things that I needed to do to be different, to be a better man, to be a better individual. Um, I talked about I talked about being that man, a better individual, and I said my reasons why. Um, I proclaim God is real in that song, and you know, and I rebuked the devil at the end. That's what I would say. The song is called Love Till Infinity.
I like the title of it, and I do intend to listen to it. If for people who are wanting to access your music, how would they be able to do so?
All right, so right now, I would say that's a long question, a long answer to that question. So right now, to find a song like Love Till Infinity, so like I said, that song was written and released a while ago now. Um, so you can find that under my first original rap name, Drew Money. If you put in Drew Money and Love Till Infinity, you'll be able to find that song on Apple Music, Spotify, on all those platforms. But to find the majority of my latest music, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Young Helpful Trillionaire, Helpful Trillionaire, like helping someone. And you can subscribe to my channel and check out my latest songs. There is an effort in my music career to put out a lot of music on all of the platforms under the name Young Helpful Trillionaire. And if you search in Apple Music right now, it should be at least 3 songs, I believe, that's out right now under the name Young Helpful Trillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
But in the next 6 months, y'all gonna get a 50 piece. It's gonna be way more songs on the platform under that name. But right now, if you want my latest music, if you want something that I wrote this summer, or I wrote this year, you probably gonna have to check out my YouTube. Me and my brother KJ Focus, we did release a single for his album. It's my most Bay Area record ever. It's called We Make the Place Jump. KJ Focus, he produced it. He plays saxophone. He's a phenomenal saxophone player. Plays with almost every artist in the Bay. Everybody calling his phone right now to get him to come play on their set. And he produces phenomenal music as well. He produced, I would say, one of my most Bay Area ever songs, and we made this banger called "We Make the Place Jump," and that song should be playing. It should be bumping in your speakers like right now. If you got an old school whip or something, you got something that's going bang in the back of your trunk, you need to go and go and look up young, helpful trillionaire. We make the place jump, and add that to your playlist because that's like a Bay Area banger. And I wrote that for the Bay. I've been in the Bay 11 years now, and I feel like I represent the Bay, and other people feel like I represent the Bay. So I had to write that song for the Bay.
Mm, okay. Well, I hope a lot of people will be exposed to the song and will appreciate your efforts for making a banger.
Appreciate
so
it.
so now we're gonna transition on to the next scene in the Journey of Self Growth podcast, which is called the Multiple Intelligence Theory.
Okay.
So, for those who are unfamiliar with the multiple intelligence theory, I'll give you a brief description of it. When it comes to intellect overall, there are two theories. One is more popular than the next. The most popular theory suggests that we as individuals have three forms of intellect, which would be naturalist or scientific, logical, mathematical, and linguistic, such as writing and reading. However, there's an alternative theory that suggests that we have, in addition to those three mentioned, six six more intellects, which would be musical, existential, also known as spiritual, interpersonal, people smart, bodily kinesthetic, body smart, intrapersonal, self smart, and spatial intelligence. For those who are wanting to know what spatial intellect will be like, people who know how to arrange and navigate the three-dimensional world, such as like interior designers, architects, things of that nature. I would even probably theorize your dad, who is works as a lighting technician, has to know where things should be properly placed in order for a show to be look a
Oh
certain
yeah,
way.
that's right up his alley. He's all in. I mean, he does so much more. He does the videos too. He's even starting to sell video packaging. Like if you need the video equipment for your show, he got it all set up for you. Get you your console, the laptop to run it on, and you can do your video. So you just got to press play, And this is for tour. He sell tour rigs now. So yeah.
I'm glad he's experiencing success, and hopefully that's what he enjoys as a passion as well. So what I want to ask you, Drew Money, the young helpful trillionaire, is of the nine multiple intelligences, which one or more do you sense you have high degrees in, and how would you suggest to listeners that they can increase their intellect, such as yourself?
I would say interpersonal, but I would say I'm gonna keep on working on it as well. And you say how they can work on it themselves.
Yes.
Um, listening to yourself, listening to yourself. Not telling yourself what you can't do. When you have a thought, write it down. Don't just write it off as what you can't do. Because, like I said, I had that thought when I was freestyling my friend. I can't make it in music, but it's something that I love. So you know, if I would have just trusted myself and known myself and just trusted that I could just do what I love, I would have probably been here a long time ago. Um, but yeah, just listening to your heart. What do you really want to do? Where do you see your life? You know, how do you feel? Feeling. Even if you feel sad, document that feeling, and why do you feel that way? You know, and you don't gotta tell nobody. You just document it for yourself. You just all for yourself. You don't have to tell nobody. So I would say that, but I'm going to keep on finding ways to work on it. Um, so you would say musical for sure. I'm on board every day, and the songs that I write, I like songs that's like me talking about going through things and how I got out of it, or me talking about I got this song that I've been performing a lot that I stopped performing for like a few months, but it's just talking about how I know God is always watching me. Like, it's called "Do You See What I See?" You know, and I say God got me in His hands, and I know He'll never drop me. I've been following my heart, and it feel like I hit the lottery. I just go and live my life, and y'all know that angels watch me. So musically, um, I would say interpersonal because I would say I do a good job of feeling how other people feel. Um, I do a good job of like picking up or just have sometimes I get on the train I have to read the crowd, so I'm reading people and I'm picking up on different energies, and then I might choose a song based on the energies that I feel in the crowd. How people can work on it. I would say just learning maybe some audiobooks on understanding people or just a lot of stuff we already know, just like human body language. You might already know about human body language already, but maybe pick up a book on it, on body language, and just like read the rooms, and just open your eyes and like just see, or ask people,
Hmm.
asking people if you read the body language and then ask them how they feel. Um, uh, extensional. I would say I can tackle that question of why we live and why we die. Um, well, I don't know why we die. I'm still puzzled on that one, maybe a little bit. But I don't know if that Steve. You don't know if you heard that famous Steve Jobs quote, like "Death is the greatest thing ever." Like, but I think I know why we live. Because I read this book called Three Magic Words, and it said, that that God seeks to know itself, so it becomes things to basically learn itself again. So like just and I believe that's true. So it's like everybody has their journey, and everybody is trying to learn to how to get closer to God, how to come back to God again, and I guess to feel good and have that trust in that faith, so you can spread that trust in that faith. So it's like we might be living in a world of lost souls, but I don't think it's going to be a day where everybody is lost.
Mm. Yeah, I hope not either. I hope everybody will become aware of the intentionality for the universe existing and become in harmony with just the flow of life, you know. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see the other ones that are understanding, living, having, reading nature.
There's nature's bodily kinesthetic, which is like body smart. So people who have high degrees of the bodily kinesthetic are like athletes who like put in the work to like work on their jump shots, stay in the gym for uh, hours, hours on end, or like work on like practicing running. You know, it's a commitment, but the fruit of that commitment is enhancement of that intellect. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would say. I'm trying to do stuff like that with the push-ups, but that's where I want to work on. into I want to learn different martial arts and stuff like that. And it's a lot of different things that you can do with your body. Like I read this one book, it was saying you can learn if somebody's telling the truth just by the way you touch their arm or something. So I want to get into stuff like that. When they was talking a lot about kinesiology, I don't know how you really say that word.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Kinesthesiology.
Kinesthesiology. So they was talking a lot about that, and if you're listening, look up that word and look up all the different things on that subject matter because it's great information.
Mm-hmm. I think what I want to add to what I'm learning about uh, it's intrapersonal, or also known as self smart, is the importance of having awareness of the feelings of our body, and knowing that sometimes our bodies will uh, create indicators of what we need to do to manage our bodies. So, like, if we are, let's say, I'm an alcoholic and I drink heavily, and I wake up with uh, stomach pains and I'm vomiting. Like, to me, that would suggest that my body is rejecting the chemicals that I have introduced to my body, and rather than drinking later in the day, I should be aware of what my body is trying to tell me so that I can change my ways and refine the way I'm living my life. And I think if we ignore these indicators over time, our body will just simply not be able to survive the experiences that we subjected to, such as drinking heavily, etc. So my suggestion to people is to know, like, have a sense of what our body is telling us, and do not overlook it, which is possible. It's possible for us to ignore the signs that our body is giving us because we think we know what's better for our body, because for whatever reason. Can you relate to that statement?
Oh yeah, I be needing more sleep. I be trying to trade and I be trying to do Bart, but I kind of had to just stop trading for a while to get more sleep because I be tired and I can't be trying to trade, and I'm dead beat tired and I'm barely keep my eyes open. I'm trying to trade, and of course I'm not making the right moves trading because I'm tired and I'm trying to process so much information at once, and I can't because I need my rest. So you're right. My body's telling me I need rest, and I be trying to fight it. No, just take my rest. So
Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we can relate to one another in regards to this particular section of the podcast. We're going to transition on to the last section of the podcast, which is called the interpreting expression section. So, to give a brief description of this section, that in life, people can express themselves, be it verbally, linguistically, or and even physically, such as dancing. And it seems when we express ourselves, we can also grow as individuals. And hopefully, when we express ourselves, those who are a witness of our expressions can relate to our expression. And if we can relate to these expressions, hopefully, we'll be inspired to want to emulate these type of expressions if it is to our benefit. And so sometimes I will encounter expressions in the forms of quotes or questions that relate to myself, and I like to present them on the podcast and share my interpretation, and also hopefully the future guest will share their interpretation of the quote, in hopes that we can relate to each other's expressions as well as the listeners, and 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 if we can relate, hopefully we can be inspired to want to apply the expressions to ourselves and use it as a resource to as we are continue on our journey of self growth. So the interpretation, the today's expression for tonight's interpreting expression section is there's a thin line between enabling and supporting. So Drew Money, how would you interpret this expression?
It's a thin line between enabling and supporting. When you're supporting, you're not you're not taking what you need from what you need from yourself and giving it to somebody else. When when if they like worked harder or push themselves harder than they could do for themselves. So you do when you're doing for people what they can do for themselves, and you're taking away from yourself what you could use for yourself to push yourself. You are crossing that line between enabling and supporting, because people really want to do something, they'll do it. People, people have the right motivations. We get a lot of things done. So it's a lot of people not doing the things that it's going to elevate them. That let them kind of figure it out. Support by you can find a way to support by just maybe giving them encouragement, telling them that they can accomplish it. You don't have to do the things for them. So because then you'll be crossing that line. Um, and it's a lot of situations. I would say I'm learning to say no more, just because maybe my support should come in other ways than me sending my resources. Um, because I'm on my self growth journey, so I need to pour into me. And not to say that helping people is a bad thing, because some people do need help, and helping people could help everybody greatly. Sometimes, honestly, I think if we all just come together and help each other, we'll be off in a better space. But until we in like a world of that, and where that's just like not abnormal, um, then you need to work on yourself in order to help other people. So it's like you gotta stay a supporter. Don't cross that line to enable, because you're gonna enable them from from pushing themselves, and maybe taking us going somewhere that might elevate them, because they had to go through had to jump through all these hoops, so they might have learned something in the process, but you just jumped through the hoops for them, so they missed out on all those lessons.
Hmm.
And
Is there is there a particular experience in your life that you could refer that is relevant to this quote?
uh, I don't want to really maybe do that, because I don't really want to be telling be talking about nobody else. I don't want to bring nobody into a situation and tell a story on somebody
You
or
wouldn't have.
whatever.
I'm not asking. No, I mean I
But that's just where my
understand.
mind goes to when you I don't know. I just kind of I don't want to get into a situation where I'm telling a story, and it's like about a person or something. So I would just say it's just me learning to say no more, because I need to be putting it into myself, instead of supporting other people, because they can some of the things that maybe they ask me to do, they can do it themselves, or maybe they shouldn't have been doing, because maybe they had other priorities themselves. So even what I helped them do, how much did it really help them? So it's like, how much was it really supporting them? It might enhance their emotions for like a while, but overall, was it a long term help? Was it a long term help? Was that supporting, or was that enabling? Because you maybe gave in into somebody's like want instead of a need, and
Mm-hmm.
now you pushing yourself away from your goals, and and they got something that they wanted, but it didn't help them grow in the situation. Just like fulfilled a small desire.
Yeah. And I want to give a little bit more detail or elaboration on the quote. I did some research and I got some just some small statements that are relevant to the quote. And it says, this, in the simplest of terms, supporting is helping someone do something that they could do themselves in the right conditions, while enabling is stepping in and mitigating. The definition of mitigating is making less severe or serious consequences that would otherwise be the result of negative choices. And then it goes on to say they associate codependency with enabling. So codependency is when a relationship evolves to where one person has needs and the other person spends most of their time trying to meet those needs while ignoring their own. Codependency can result in spiraling downward, enabling the loved ones, enabling, it says, enabling the loved one's challenges and not helping them rise above in a healthy way. It's easier for a loved one to maintain the behaviors than change when someone else is doing the heavy lifting for them behind the scenes. And so I I can relate to what you're saying. I do think um, it is essential to be aware of indicators when someone is trying to rely on yourself to uh, do goals for them, do goals for them when they could be doing them for themselves. And I think about conversations where I've heard someone say that they were asked to write a paper for a class by someone they knew, and the person was like willing to pay for them to write the paper. And I think that would be an example of codependency. That person who asked them to write the paper, it is it seems like they would hopefully have the potential and skill set to do it themselves, but it seems like due to a lack of ambition would rather someone else write it for them. And I think if you chose to go that route, what you're inhibiting as an individual is your skills being developed by you taking the initiative and doing it yourself. And if someone decides to actually take you up on that offer and write the paper for them, that could lead to them wanting to depend on you even more, and uh, it could be an endless downward spiral from that point on, and that could cause stress and uh, even hurt the relationship that you have with this person that seemingly you care about. So I think the solution is be aware of indicators so that you can address the situation accordingly and have a willingness to say no, and also understand why you're saying no. And for me, I would say no because it helps to maintain my peace and tranquility by not participating in enabling someone to continue doing things that are not going to benefit them. And the reason why I chose this image is because if you notice, there is seemingly a monarch or a king that's sitting on a throne that has now passed away, and he still has, it seems like, followers who are still worshiping him despite him no longer existing. And to me, that if they are living and he is now passed on, it would seem like they would should hopefully want to rise up and learn how to be independent rather than dependent on someone who is no longer of this physical realm. And I would theorize when that king was living, they were basically enabling him to continue to sit on the throne and looking to someone else to make them hold them accountable for their actions. So this is why I chose this image because I think it was relevant to the the quote.
Now I feel you. I also think I was listening to something today was basically saying no is so traumatic. So just trying to find other ways to say no. So instead of no, saying I wish, but I can't, or sorry, this is not a great time right now, or because no is like so traumatic. Um, I don't know. That's what the book was saying.
Mm. Yeah, I know people who I admire and because of their ability to tell people no without any recourse or regret. And
Oh yeah. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just thought of the second part of why they were saying to say it like that. My bad. I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
They were saying say it like that because and so it's like no recourse in like in your no doesn't get met with negativity. You know how you can tell somebody no and then they mad at you for saying no. So it's like you say when someone sends a request, it's like I would love to, but I can't right now.
Mm,
But then the book even told me how to reverse that. So it's like the reversal to that is you tell them they say you say I would love to, but I can't right now, because you really only remember everything after the but. So if it was important, it was supposed to be it needs to be after the but, because you don't really people don't really remember after buts. So to hit the reversal on that, it would say I would love to, but I can't right now. Say you can't right now, but you would love to, and then all they're gonna remember is that they would love to.
mm. And this is like are is a book suggesting these are like uh
These are words that motivate people. Um, just words that magic words that motivate and engage and influence.
okay. I think another way to address situations or circumstances where no is necessary when someone is wanting to depend on you or be a codependent is telling them no and then following up the no with presenting them with an alternative method to go about uh, discovering a solution. So if someone asks me like, do you uh, do you mind if I what would be a good example? Oh, like if a kid asks me like, can you buy me this toy? When I know like the kid has a closet full of toys that they don't play with, I would say, no, I can't buy you this toy, but I can buy you a coloring book instead, which the child may not have, and the coloring book could be an experience where they can learn how to develop a new skill set which they've never tried before. Because sometimes I think some people will continue to ask because they have been enabled to uh, continue to ask without someone ever telling them no. So to give them an alternative path may also help them to create an alternative path in their mind or their mindset. So that's something
You
that I
actually
learned.
gave them a yes. It's like that. Your no was a yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that too, because like with that with the book I was telling me that told me that is basically you want yeses. So it's like you want to give people yeses, and that's like and in relationships, it's like the more yeses you give, the more stable the relationship will be. People like to hear yes to things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's you on a good track with that. I like that. because you gave them an alternative instead of just like or they were saying when people say what they can't, like instead of give them if. So maybe an example is like uh saying someone saying I can't take you to the ball game. I have to go pick up Meg from school.
Mm-hmm.
Then you say, all right, okay, what what if I get Meg a Uber? Then can you give me a ride to the ball game?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you added the if in there. You know, you gave them that alternative to to the can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that could be a possible solution as well. Okay. I think we're going to wrap up the Journey of Self Growth podcast episode 23 at this point. Um, Drew Money, the young careful trillionaire, what would your parting words be?
Just to keep on going and keep on growing, find more ways to learn, and to keep learning every day of your life. If that's going to be the way that you grow the most. The consistency, apply the consistency in everything that you do and everything that you want to achieve in life, and watch all your goals, magically happen. But it wasn't magic. It was from you consistently taking a small step forward towards them. So just stay consistent in things that you do, and you'll eventually reach your goals. So, and in doing that, to reach your goals, you must continue to grow and you must continue to learn.
Yeah, I can relate to what you're saying. I think my parting words for this episode would be um, I just want to use a phrase. It's keep swimming.
Mm.
Like if life is an ocean and in order to stay afloat you need to tread water, keep swimming because the the currents and the waves are seemingly out of our control, but as long as we're trying to put forth an effort, hopefully God and the universe can sense our intentions to want to maintain uh, living and growing despite the unexpectedness of life, and will support our intentionality to want to do better for ourselves as individuals. And so, yeah, my parting words was keep swimming.
Keep swimming. I like that.
Oh, thank everyone for tuning in to the Journey of Self Growth podcast. I appreciate you all. Drew, if you can hang around for a couple of seconds or a minute after we close out, I appreciate it. And also, I hope that you have grown in this experience. I think I have grown in this experience by uh, uh, listening to your journey and uh, relating to what was being expressed from your perspective, and I hope you have done the same as well.
I have.
So, once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the night. I appreciate you all. Good night.
Good night.